good word, y'all? DKB here. So day one of the 2023 NFL free agency legal tampering period has come to a close. And the New York Jets, we didn't make many moves. This was as expected as can be, I guess, with Aaron Rodgers still not making a decision. And even though sources said the deal is pretty much done, and we have reports and rumors of Aaron Rodgers trying to recruit players to New York, the ink still isn't on the paper. So as of now, there wasn't going to be a whole lot for us to do, but let's recap some of the moves that the New York Jets did quietly make on day one. And a lot of this was working on their own talent, which Joe Douglas did mention as much. That is the number one focus at the end of each season after player interviews and all of that stuff. We evaluate our players, we deal with our own. And so the first action goes to Bryce Huff. We gave a second round tender to. He's going to be making $4.3 million this season. And if somebody decides that they want his services more, we'll end up recouping a second round pick for that. Now, Bryce Huff, he'll be heading into the season at 25 years old. We know that the man is a phenom on this New York Jets defensive line, and to pinpoint some of those and really hit the point home. He finished first in pass rush win rate, second in true pass set pressure rate. He was third in quarterback hit rate. He ended up setting a next-gen stats record with a 21.3% pressure rate and at least 150 pass rushes. And he also owns the record of being the fastest player to get off of the line over the last 5 seasons at a 0.67 second clip. All of that says the man is a monster when it comes to getting after the quarterback. There's a lot that's working in his favors, almost working exclusively in third downs, not really contributing in the run game. And that may be for a lack of the coaching staff not thinking he can handle it or just not a strong skill set in his game. But either way, we don't fully know. So the way I see the second round tender being used for Bryce Huff is that he will once again be a specialist in our defensive line rotation. Maybe they try to give him the opportunity finally to take on some run snaps in order to increase the average he was getting, which I think dwindled all the way down to about 12 to 13 snaps a game by the time the season ended. But getting him somewhere in the 20 range will be a healthy total for a guy that can probably wreck game plans on his own, as we've seen in plenty of critical situations for us. So I look forward to seeing him on the field more. If this is his opportunity to try to, gain a long-term extension, kind of like a John Franklin Myers, then I think we'll finally see that this season. The second move that was made was for Greg Zuerlein. We don't know the details of what his contract looks like, but he's been our most successful kicker since Nick Folk left us. I mean, keep in mind for 3 to 4 seasons there, I think we rotated through. I don't want to lowball or highball this, but I think it was somewhere between like 7 and 12 kickers. The number is absolutely ridiculous. But most successful kicker that we've had, even though he's had one of his lowest completion rates. In the context of things, New York Jets asked a lot of him in terms of kicking, one of the highest percentage of 50-plus yard kicks. And he did deliver our single season franchise record, 60-yard kick. He's also made 6 50-plus yard field goals in 2022 alone for us. So huge pickup. He's coming off a 1-year, I want to say it was $725 million contract. So if I had to guess, and he's getting a slight bump, I'm going to say somewhere between about 4.5 million and maybe 5.25 million on a 1-year deal. So we'll see what that ultimately looks like tomorrow, ideally. And then the last one was more so of just a cut. We let guard Drew Samia go, and really there's not much to speak on. He's been on the practice squad and kind of lingering around during training camp battles for a while, but there hasn't really been much else going on there. So in day 2, what can we expect? Hopefully, fingers crossed, what we all are hoping for is the news that Aaron Rodgers is going to become a New York Jet. Is looking more and more likely like that will be a package deal of some sorts that includes players, And I don't know if that's going to be coming or going. I've heard rumors of, some interest in a wide receiver that we may have, different things like that. But that would be the number one ticket item by the time things kick off tomorrow. Outside of that, who are some guys we could be looking at? We know at running back, Jamal Williams was an interest. He's tied to Aaron Rodgers, from what I understand, with some of their previous connection being in Green Bay. But we are looking at a power guy. So some other names that would interest me would be a guy like Leonard Fournette, previous experience with Nathaniel Hackett. He was part of the team that led the NFL in rush attempts as well as rushing yards, if not touchdowns, I believe. And so as a short yardage back, that will be specializing for us, and a guy that's carried the team before if Bryce Huff needs a little bit of additional time to try to recover without handling a full load. I think he might be a perfect fit. Also, may potentially come cheap, which is something that I'm looking at. If not him, then I think maybe a guy like Samaj Pirine, or maybe somebody like a Rex Burkhead could fit the bill for something like that. One of the things that was interesting that we didn't see in day one of free agency was the wide receiver market. Really, didn't do much of anything in the first day. I don't even think I really heard any rumors about where guys could potentially go, which could be a huge benefit for the New York Jets if we're looking to see if we can find a younger, more durable upgrade in exactly that context for Corey Davis, if we want to include him in, for example, a trade to the Packers. And so we're looking at the main guys that have come up pretty consistently: Jacoby Myers, Alan Lazard, Adam Thielen's been a more popular name recently. I don't know what the Jets' flavor would be, but ideally we're looking for a guy that can replace Corey Davis's skill set, a plus run blocker, strong hands for the most part. I know Corey Davis tended to have some butterfingers at times where we've seen him, save a critical series for us with a clutch catch, just inches off the ground. But it is what it is. So we'll see how the wide receiver market plays out. At tight end, we are set. On the offensive line, I think this is where things can be interesting. I did fall in love with a guy like Jawan Taylor, who I thought could have been a huge plus at tackle for us, but we may ultimately be looking more so to the interior of the line, with Elijah Vera Tucker coming back and with Laken Tomlinson getting his contract restructured and essentially being guaranteed he'll be on the roster for 2 to 3 years. That kind of takes us out of the running for some of the guys that I thought could have been top options, like Isaac Suamalo. So if we want to talk guard backups, it's more so likely that we probably go out and make sure that we re-sign Nate Herbig. At the center spot, though, some names went off the board already: Ethan Posick, Bradley Bozeman from the Panthers, and then Scott Quessenberry went to the Texans. I would say the name that still interests me the most would be a Ben Jones, but if they are concerned about what potentially the concussion issues that he had suffering to last season are, maybe we try to take a look at a guy like Rodney Hudson, who can give us a strong year, and we pair him with a rookie. Other than that, there's not too many other names that I'm familiar with off the top of my head in terms of the scheme fit and the production. I do know defensive tackle is going to have to be a pretty significant factor over these next coming days. We've seen plenty of the top guys come off the board already. Maybe we see a reunion with a guy like a Sheldon Rankins. Who knows how that really plays out? I mean, it's really pick your flavor with the defensive line and how Robert Saleh likes to utilize his guys. You could really make a case for almost anybody, even a plus-size guy like a Dalvin Tomlinson. But everything's going to be held up by whatever our cap ultimately looks like once we get the yes or the no from Aaron Rodgers. So we'll see what happens more so there. I would imagine maybe we hear a little bit more about some of our guys before an outside signing. But let me know who you guys are interested in. What are some of the names floating around out there that you think would be a good addition to this roster, regardless of Aaron Rodgers and whoever coming onto the team. And I'll catch you guys again. Peace.